Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about post-war world and India. The impact of the Second World War was different for different countries. The worst affected were the European countries, especially the USSR, which lost about 20% of its population and its economic terms too. And USSR and other European countries lost heavily with the destruction of cities, factories and mines on the massive scale. About 1700 towns, 31,000 factories and over 70,000 villages of USSR had been completely destroyed. In contrast, the USA suffered less as the war was not fought on its territories. In fact, the Second World War was helped USA to grow out of its economic misery caused by the Great Depression. Far from the threats of the war, the industries and agriculture of USA actually prospered. This ensured full employment and high productivity in US during the Second World War. In March 1945, the US President Harry Truman said, "We have emerged from this war the most powerful nation in the world, the most powerful nation perhaps in all history." Even as the war devastated countries rebuilt their economics, the world saw some new processes came into existence. Three of the most important processes were the establishment of the United Nations, Cold War, and decolonization. The Second World War had been fought on the principles of peace, democracy, and freedom of nations, in contrast to the Nazi ideas of dictatorship and imperialism. The USSR was also emerging as a champion of anti colonial struggles, which in many places were led by communist parties inspired by the USSR. Colonial powers like Britain and France could no longer justify their old colonial policies. They also had been politically and economically weakened, and also USA pressurizing them to dismantle the old colonial system, which gave the old colonial powers exclusive access to the colonies. Under these conditions, the old powers like Britain had no choice but to grant freedom to their old colonies. As these countries became free, they faced a world greatly torn between capitalism and communism, between USA and USSR, and were constantly under pressure to choose between the two rather than follow their own paths of development. United Nations Organization. The principal allied countries like Britain, France, USA, USSR, and China drafted a charter for the formation of the UNO. The UN need to preserve peace and prevent wars, but also the need to ensure human rights, democracy, and eradication of poverty and hunger for all people in the world. The UN thus started with a twin objectives of ensuring lasting peace and human development. At the time of its establishment, UN had membership of 51 countries, and today there are 193 countries. The UN works through 6 different organs. Each of these organs has specific functions like maintaining peace and security, improving education and health facilities, alleviating poverty, providing justice in the context of international crimes, and so on. Some bodies responsible for these functions include International Court of Justice located in Hague, the World Health Organization located at Geneva, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization functioning from Paris, and United Nations Children's Emergency Fund functioning from New York. In electing the Secretary General, the main officer of the UN, all nations participate and the post is rotated across different continents. The General Assembly is the main body where regular discussions between nations take place. However, decisions relating to war and peace are taken in the Security Council, and 5 nations have special status within it. These are called permanent members of the Security Council, and they are China, France, UK, USSR, and USA. Any decision taken by the Council can be vetoed by the intervention of even any one of these countries. Veto power means it can made invalid or rejected. The two camps and the Cold War 1945 to 1991. Two major ideological and political camps emerged in the post-war period: the Communist Bloc led by the USSR and Democratic Capitalist Bloc led by the USA. The USSR promoted the ideas of equality and state-controlled development and suppression of opposition to these principles. On the other hand, USA promoted the ideas of multi-party democracy and private capitalist controlled process of development. The USSR had the entire Eastern Europe, like Poland, Hungary, the East Germany, under its influence, and many colonies which were gaining freedom like China, Vietnam, closely aligned to it. The countries of Western Europe like Britain, France, Spain were closely allied with the USA. The two blocs competed with each other for bringing all the intermediate countries in their blocs. After the Second World War, a strange war took place between the two blocs. It was a war in which the principal contenders did not physically attack each other or fight each other directly. It is called Cold War. Simply you can say that it was closed door war through propaganda and words. This Cold War, characterized by intense tensions between the United States and USSR, influenced and shaped almost everything that happened in the world between 1945 and 1991. The Cold War was not just a propaganda war. It also saw real fighting and cost around 20 million human lives. However, almost all of the people killed were citizens of Third World countries emerging from colonial domination like Vietnam, Korea, Angola, and Afghanistan. Some main tactics used during the Cold War included proxy wars and military alliances and arms race. Proxy wars. Right from the outset, the two countries tried to bring the countries fighting for freedom under their sphere of influence. The Belgian colony in Africa, Congo, got independence in 1960, but its radical communist leader, Patrice Lumumba, was killed by US spy agency called CIA in 1961. Angola became independent from Portugal in November 1975. The communists in Angola captured power with the help of USSR and Cuba. In Latin America, Fidel Castro had led a revolution against an American-backed government and sought to build socialism on the lines of USSR. This inspired a large number of people in Latin American countries to fight for a similar transformation in their countries. One of their very popular leaders, Che Guevara, was killed. Even elected governments led by socialists like the government of Chile led by S. Allende was toppled by US-backed army generals. Soviet War in Afghanistan. The USSR invaded Afghanistan to support the Marxist People Democratic Party of Afghanistan government. They are pro-Soviet regime. To counter this, the US gave Afghan Mujahideen resistance fighters weapons to fight the Soviets. The Mujahideen were popular amongst the rural population because of their traditional values. It was difficult for the Soviets and pro-communist government of Afghanistan to win the war because support for the Mujahideens from the US and other Islamic countries. A prolonged civil war ensued, and as the USSR decided to withdraw from Afghanistan in 1985, the country fell to religious extremists led by the Taliban, which has now turned against the USA. Non-Alignment Movement (NAM). The newly independent countries in 1950s, they did not want to be involved in either the blocs. There was an attempt to create one. The leaders of newly independent nations felt the need for a change from the insecure and tense situation. So in 1955, a conference was held at Bandung in Indonesia. It was the first Asia-African conference represented by 29 nations. The most important leaders for this conference were Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the Prime Minister of India, Gamal Abdel Nasser, Egypt, Joseph Broz Tito, the leader of Yugoslavia. Pandit Nehru was acknowledged as the chief spokesperson. It paved the way for non-alignment movement. The first summit was held at Belgrade in Yugoslavia in September 1961. It was attended by 25 member countries. By 2012, the membership was grown to 120 countries with 17 observers. The first summit was a culmination of three major concerns: the cooperation among the members nations of NAM, most of them had newly emerged as free countries, growing Cold War tensions and its impact on the world at large, to prevent any of the newly decolonized independent countries from joining any of the military blocs. Over the years, the NAM helped countries like India to take an independent position when the two superpowers fell apart and pulled countries to their side. Growth of nationalism in the Middle East. In the West Asian conflicts, US supported Israel. So the Palestinians created a widespread feeling against the US in the region. The US also became unpopular because it supported undemocratic regimes in this area, so that the oil resources were available to the US and its allies. In 1968, a coup took place in Iraq in which Saddam Hussein came to power with the twin slogans of Arab nationalism and socialism. By socialism, they meant nationalization of oil resources and the use of oil revenues by the state to fund welfare measures for the citizens. Similar developments took place in Libya in 1969. These regimes combined welfare policies with autocratic and dictatorial rule of a ruler or a small group. They did not allow any opposition or democratic protest against themselves. In many cases, the opposition to the US and US-backed regimes took religious colors. The nationalist forces, instead of supporting the idea of equitable distribution of wealth and opportunities, fostered the idea of establishing religious orthodoxy in those countries. A revolution took place in Iran in 1979 in which the old king of Iran, who was supported by US, was removed and new government jointly controlled by Shia Islamic clerics and democratically elected leaders was established. The beginning of 21st century witnessed growing discontent among the Arabs, which resulted in the growth of religious terrorism. Some Arab terrorists hijacked two aircrafts in the US and crashed them into World Trade Center in New York, killing thousands of people. This led to a war against Taliban and eventually to a war against Iraq. Peace movements and collapse of the USSR. USSR and USA came under the tremendous public pressure to roll back the arms race and destroy their nuclear arsenals. This forced them to hold talks to mutually reduce the stockpiles and weapons race, and eventually to ban nuclear tests between 1985 to 1991. This was largely made possible by the coming to power of Mikhail Gorbachev in the USSR. He tried to transform the politics of USSR by making it more open and bringing about radical changes. He was a liberal who introduced certain reforms for the revival of their economy and promoted healthy relations with the West. The reforms introduced by the open regime are often described as glasnost and perestroika. Around the same time, the countries of Eastern Europe faced serious economic crisis and the USSR was not in a position to help them. As a result, popular movements demanding freedom, democracy, and economic reforms swept across Eastern Europe. Soon, the governments were unable to manage the country and collapsed. This is the best symbolized by the breaking down of the infamous Berlin Wall that separated Eastern and Western Germany and symbolized the unpopular control of USSR over Germany. In the USSR itself, the communist hardliners encouraged a coup in 1991 to remove Gorbachev from power. This backfired and Boris Yeltsin resisted the coup on behalf of the Russian parliament. He eventually won the presidential elections and announced the disbanding of USSR in 1991. The components of the former USSR became independent countries and many of them formed an alliance with Russia later on.